Hi guys, John the Firearms Instructor. In today's video, we're going to be covering the 5 mistakes I see people make when they're carrying a concealed weapon. Number 1 is improper training. As a concealed carry holder and one who's done classes since 2014, it's amazing to me how many people come to class that's never shot a pistol before, or it's been over 5 years since they've shot a pistol. I ask them all the time, should you be carrying? And they always say no, obviously. But what are they doing in class? Well, I applaud them for wanting to get their concealed carry, but they definitely should not be carrying until they get the proper training. Proper training means getting comfortable with the weapon first. You know, drawing from the holster and all that stuff is other training you got to get your head around, and how to carry and all that stuff like that. But you got to get yourself very familiar with the weapon prior to getting out on the road carrying a weapon. Remember, you need to identify a threat, make a decision, and engage in 1.2 seconds, which is very hard to do to begin with. Now add on top of that, you've never pulled from the holster, you may be carrying around in the chamber, maybe not carrying around in the chamber. We've done a video on that if you'd like to click the link up there. There's a lot of stuff you need to know prior to carrying, but training is probably the number one thing first. And then there is the printing or exposing the firearm. Now, printing is not against the law in Florida. It's just not smart, guys. Number reason why we conceal carry in the state of Florida, it gives us a tactical advantage, right? Bad guys coming in a room, someone's open carrying over there, which open carrying is not allowed in Florida, but let's just say he had a cowboy hat on, his 6 shooters on, his cowboy boots, and you're the bad guy, and there's 6 people carrying in there that is concealed. The biggest threat you're going to see is the guy who's got the firearm on there. So when you give yourself away by printing or exposing the firearm, you're losing your tactical advantage. You want to keep your tactical advantage as much as possible. Number 3 is using a cheap holster. I can see, man, there's a lot of holsters on the market, a lot of leather holsters, a lot of Kydex holsters, but you got to make sure the holster you're wearing is going to allow you to draw the holster and reinstall the weapon, right, with ease. There's a lot of cheap holsters on the market. If you're carrying a weapon with a cheap holster, it becomes such a challenge for you to be comfortable wearing it all day. And if you're not comfortable wearing your holster all day, are you physically going to carry on a regular basis? And probably the answer would be no. Starting with that, we go through wearing the improper clothing. You can't really wear a tight shirt or tight pants or anything else. Like a lot of times we talk about inside the waistband holster, which gives you a deeper concealment. These inside the waistband holsters go against your skin, go inside your pants, and it gives you a pocket to put the gun in. Ideally, this is the best way to conceal because it goes right to your belt line. Wearing a belt is probably a good thing, but wearing too tight of clothes or not the proper clothes, which will make you stand out more. You know, another thing is, guys, don't wear a bunch of stuff that says Glock on it or Smith or Taurus or Ruger. It just gives you away, and you're losing your tactical advantage again. And then there's the mindset, man. Just because you have your concealed carry doesn't mean that you're out there to save the world nowadays, right? This firearm is for you and your loved ones only. Don't get yourself caught up on, I'm going to protect the people at Walmart when a bad guy comes in. That's not your responsibility. Let the cops handle all that. This firearm on our side is for you and your loved ones only. You don't get carried away about your attitude. Really changes once you start carrying. You realize that you got something on there that could take a life, and you start changing your personal attitude. If you're drawing a weapon in rage and anger, you've already lost. So always have it a tactical advantage in keeping the weapon for you and your loved ones only. Those are my 5. I think I see a lot of this happening while I'm walking around Walmart with my wife. I see printing all the time. I see people trying to hide a gun, not very well. Let me tell you something. No matter what you have, guys, if you're putting a weapon on your body without a holster, you're making a big mistake. If you're putting a gun in a purse without a holster, you're making a big mistake. That's where the accidental discharges happen, because if you're pulling your keys out of that purse and your keys get hooked up into that trigger and that weapon was loaded, it could fire it. So let's not make these mistakes. If you'd like to learn more or book one of our classes to become more proficient with concealed carrying, and just getting comfortable with the pistol, we'd love to have you. We're at 918 Southeast 14th Avenue in beautiful Cape Coral, Florida. We're off the Industrial Park off Vizcaya. Until next time, God bless, be safe, and remember, you're your first line of defense. Do you make any of these mistakes?